Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Dude Edification, and I hope I pronounced your name right. Let me know in the comments if I didn't, but I tried. He is the reason why this videos even happen, or these videos are happening. He wanted to know the history between Magneto and Iron Man. And I was just about to give, the fight that came from this series. And then I started to read it, bought the omnibus, because I read this a long time ago, but I bought the omnibus to get caught up. It's like 347 pages. And like I said, I was just going to do just a fight between the two. And then I started reading it, and then I started remembering. I'm like, nah, just giving the fight wouldn't do it justice. We got covered the whole thing. So give a shout out to him, because without him, this would not be happening right now. And also too, let me give a shout out to Liquid Trick 187. Always got my back, homie. My name is Dorian. This is SEM Comics. We are starting our coverage of Avengers vs. X-Men with round 1. So the story starts off on the planet Burjay. That looks like Burjay to me. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not a real word, but I'm going with Burjay. Please let me know in the comments if you think it should be pronounced something else. And we have Nova, not Richard Rider, but Sam Alexander. I really like Sam Alexander. I don't want to know what happened to him. I know he was in the Champions, and I kind of lost track of him after that. If any guys know in the comments, because I'm nowhere near a comic book expert, if you know in the comments what happened to Sam or what's going on, is he alive, is he dead, what stories is he in, please let me know. So, not to get off track, even though we already did, we're not even 2 minutes into the video, he is fighting Terrax, who is a herald of Galactus. Now, before you guys say, he doesn't look like Silver Surfer, trust me, there are a lot of heralds of Galactus. Silver Surfer is just the most famous one. I don't think he was the first one. Pretty sure he's not the first one, but he is the most famous. And just because you are no longer a herald of Galactus doesn't mean you lose a power cosmic. No, you keep that. So that's why he's giving Nova the business right now. And Nova's like, I'm not here to fight. I'm not here to challenge you. I'm just here to warn you. But again, Terrax is not hearing it. Because if you know anything about Terrax, then he's a bit of an asshole. He is. And just before he's about to put his finishing touches on Nova, he feels it. And then Nova's like, I told you something was coming. So he's like, all right, help me evacuate as many people as you can. And then Terrax is like, I never retreat. I am a hero of Galactus. I fear nothing. So Nova's like, look, what's coming will pretty much make Galactus fudge his pants, so we need to get out of here. So all of a sudden there's a bright light, and Nova's like, it's too late, and he dips out of there. And Terrax is like, flee, coward. I will make war with any being in the universe. And Nova's like, good luck with that. So as Nova is rocketing away, you see it's the Phoenix in the background, and she engulfs the planet. And he goes, all those people, epic fail. So on the next page, we see that, mind you, this dude has the power cosmic, so it takes a lot to take this dude down. But he pretty much gets incinerated, which he thought he wanted that smoke, but unfortunately where there's smoke, there's Phoenix fire, and he couldn't handle that. So Nova is still trying to get away from the blast, and he has to use his Nova power to open up a wormhole. And he's like, gotta get help. Everybody's gotta know the Phoenix is coming. So the next day we go back to the planet, which they like to tell you is 80,000 miles away from Earth. And we see that the only thing that's left is Terrax's axe. And then something's also growing in the dirt next to it. And now we transition to Earth, where we have the Wakandan ambassador who is escorting a scientist. I don't know if he's Wakanda or not, but he's definitely African, I'm assuming. He used to be an AIM scientist, and then he left AIM. And if you know anything about AIM, especially the person who runs it, which is the mental organism designed only for killing, aka MODOK, he ain't taking that lightly. So MODOK is using this crazy looking creatures to pretty much wreck shop to whatever that Wakanda motorcade was. And he rips open the door and he says, get out, spend your last moments on Earth honorably as a man. So obviously the doctor says no, and MODOK's like, fine with me, I'll shoot you right here. And he tries to shoot his weapon from his head and nothing happens. And then all of a sudden we see it's because of the Scarlet Witch. So she's pretty much using her hex powers to pretty much dispatch of all MODOK's creations. But the MODOK is sitting there, and at first he didn't recognize her, and then he does recognize her. He's like, hold on, time out. The Scarlet Witch, you're the disgrace Avenger. So then he just starts going in on her. He goes, Rumor has it that you lost your mind and you turned on the Avengers. Rumor has it you're the reason why the mutants are no longer a concern. Now, if you're kind of lost in the sauce right now, MODOK is talking about Avengers Disassembled, which led right into the House of M. Don't worry, we will definitely cover both of those on the channel. So she goes, please, I beg you, if I wanted a crazy monologue, I will go back to my father. And MODOK's like, oh, okay. You know what? Magneto's baby girl needs to learn to stay in her place. It pretty much tells all of her beings to attack. So she starts to fend them off with her hex powers, but they start to kind of overwhelm her, which is crazy because Wanda is stupidly powerful. So MODOK's like, all right, finish her off quickly. And then she gets some help because Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel at this time, knocks the hell out of MODOK. And also too, Spider-Woman, her BFF, is with her. So with the three of them, they pretty much take down MODOK and all of his forces. And then the awkward conversation has to happen. So Carol's like, hey Wanda, it's me, Carol Danvers. Remember me? Remember Spider-Woman? And she goes, hey. And then Wanda's like, yeah, I thought I could take care of him on my own. They're like, oh no, you did a great job. His baby's a little bit rusty, but it's cool. Why don't you come back with us to the mansion? She's like, I don't think that's a good idea. She's like, no, I want to hear it. Come back with us to the mansion. She was like, things are probably still pretty bad. Hey, I wasn't asking you come back with us to the mansion. So then they're at the mansion. She's still arguing like she doesn't want to be there. Carol's still not trying to hear it. And then of all people to come to the door, Vision comes to the door. So the Vision's like, what are you doing here, Wanda? And Carol's like, I thought it'd be nice for her to see everybody. And Vision's like, I am talking to my wife. Why'd you come here? So there's a moment where nothing's really been said, and then Vision goes, I have empathy for all your life struggles, and I have empathy for all the manipulation that you have endured. But what I do not have compassion or understanding for is the idea that when you were at your lowest, you chose out of the millions of choices and variables in front of you, you chose to overpower me and use my body as a weapon against my friends in my home. That I cannot forgive. And she's like, you're right. And everybody's standing there. Wolverine, Thor, Carol, Beast, Iron Man, Vision. And she goes, I'm sorry. So Vision pretty much tells her she doesn't belong here. This is not her home anymore and she needs to leave. So she's like, yes, I already knew that. She's crying. So Carol's like, wow, could you be any more of a... And looked like she's about to call him an asshole, but Vision cuts her off real quick. It's like, this is not your concern. So then Carol flies her away. Tony's like, a little bit rough, huh? And Wolverine's like, hey, it's his call. And Tony's like, I know, I get it. I just like them together. As Vision walks away, and he's crying. Then no androids can cry. And that's the Avengers side. Now, we go to the X-Men side. So now we switch to Utopia, which is an island off the coast of San Francisco. This is pretty much like a precursor to what Krakoa would eventually be. Not saying that Utopia is Krakoa, just this is how the X-Men would start separating themselves from the rest of the world, just like on Krakoa. And you got Hope. She's kind of by herself, and she has a jetpack, and she's about to take off. She's saying, hopefully I don't hit a building. And all of a sudden, I hear, stop. You need to stop this. I don't know what the hell this is, but stop. And it's Cyclops. Cyclops, he has been on a downward spiral. And you'll even hear, like, in the story, how he's pretty much kind of like Magneto. So she goes, fine, you can have your stupid jetpack back. And he goes, I'm not talking about that, but I do want that back. He goes, I'm talking about you sneaking around in the middle of the night. And she goes, oh, I just leave out to clear my head. And he goes, oh, okay. So one night you went to go clear your head, 2 muggers got beaten half to death. Another night when you went to go clear your head, a paroled child molester had both his legs broken. And who goes to clear their head with a police scanner strapped to their belt? He's like, you gotta stop and you gotta let the police handle these matters. Besides, we can't have you getting hurt or killed because you're the mutant messiah. And she goes, what does that mean? Like, everybody tells me I'm special, but nobody can tell me why I'm special. You know, everybody tells me there's like a purpose for me, but nobody can tell me what that purpose is. So the Cyclops tries to like change the subject to dance around it, and Hope's like, tell me about the Phoenix. And he's like, how'd you hear about that? I know more than what you think. I know it's some crazy cosmic firebird. I know it came for your wife years ago. I know everybody goes crazy anytime we mention it, especially you. I know it's coming for me, so why don't you let me know what happens when it gets here? So Cyclops pretty much stays silent, and she goes, that's what I thought. I find out the answers on my own, and then something comes across the police scanner, and Cyclops like, don't even think about it. She's like, don't you think about stopping me? It's like, Hope, please listen. She goes, no, you listen. And she hits him with his own optic blast. So Hope flies away using his jetpack, and Cyclops goes, well, that probably could have gone a little better. So Hope flies to the place where the crime is being committed, and she gets out of the jetpack, and the jetpack hits a wall, and she goes, whoops, must have slipped. So the police are at the bank. I guess it's some kind of hostage situation because they're trying to meet their demands. So Hope sneaks in through a vent, and come to find out, it's a serpent society. So they got people tied up. You got one dude that's using his venom that I guess is like acid, and he's trying to melt through the vault door. When one of the female ladies goes, Bushmaster, everything all right back there? Then all of a sudden the lady goes flying, and then Hope's like, hands in the air, or snake arms, or wherever you got. So one lady goes, what's this child doing here? Are you lost, kid? Are you from Power Pack? And how'd you get past Bushmaster? He goes, oh, the guy with the arms? Did you know those arms were cybernetic? I didn't know they were cybernetic until I cut them off. And the lady grabs her with her snake arms and goes, at the Serpent Society, we normally don't kill teens, but it looks like we're gonna have to make an exception for you. And then Hope headbutts the hell out of her. And she goes, why do people headbutt? Like, you know it hurts you just as much as it hurts the other person. And then Hope headbutts her again. And she goes, cut it out. And again. And again. And again. And now the woman is comatose. So then the dude that was melting the vault door all of a sudden pops up on Hope, and he gets real big. And she goes, you're a mutant, right? And he goes, yeah, why? She goes, because my power only works on mutants. And she gets huge and then knocks the hell out of him. So now, for those of you guys who aren't familiar with Hope, Hope's mutant ability is that she can borrow anybody's powers, but she doesn't just borrow their powers, she can use their powers to their fullest extent. So it normally takes years for mutants to be able to use their powers to the fullest extent. Hope can do that just by borrowing them. So all of a sudden there's an optic blast, Cyclops and Emma Frost come in, and they pretty much have to pull Hope off the Serpent Society. So Emma uses her mental powers to let the police know to call an ambulance for the Serpent Society. So Cyclops is trying to talk to Hope, and Hope's like, I know why you're scared. You think the Phoenix is either going to kill me or make me go crazy like it did Jean. But I'm not your dead wife. I know the Phoenix is coming. I'm not afraid. I want it to come. I'm ready. So Emma's like, this is too much pressure on her. She's just a kid. And Cyclops like, she is definitely not just a kid. And she's going to save us all. I know it. Emma goes, or perhaps kill us. And Cyclops is like, either way, that makes her something special. So then we go back to Utopia. Hope is on the beach and she's cleaning the blood off of her hands using the ocean. And she looks up into the sky, and all of a sudden we get further and further away from Earth. Then we're away from the Milky Way, but then we see the Phoenix, and it is coming.